This person writes, rejected, then comes back 2 months later via social media. That's space. I mean, space is probably the most underutilized tool in relationships, and it is one of the most effective. And so it's, if you ever want to like attract someone back, just give them that space. It's like that space allows the other person to wonder about you, and time really allows you to kind of get over those past pains, or the pains of it basically degrade. And then you start worrying about, or not worrying about, but just like focusing on what was good. And so oftentimes what you'll find is they'll come back. Or they're thinking like, well, he just easily walked away, and now he's doing his own life and he's like thriving in his own life. And maybe he had a lot of value, and so they wonder about you. But just, it's like, it's very useful, but also be very careful on it in case you're trying to get back with an ex, because what you'll find is that in most cases things don't change, even though they kind of change as far as your perception. It's like once you get back with the ex, those same painful patterns usually are still there, unless, one or both of you did some intense work, basically had an identity shift, and did some intense work on you and your skills in relationships. But also space, just getting on a tangent on space here, but space is important just in our current relationship as well. It's like people need to feel free. They need to feel basically cared for, loved, but also they need to be free in that. It's not certain love where it's like, I know for certain. It's like love doesn't really work that way. Thinking you have to basically, yeah, I mean, sometimes people who want certain love, it's more of a fear. It's like their fear that they won't be loved, and so they have to basically do a bunch of actions in order to get that certainty that love will be there. But it's like it's not about that. It's being in that vulnerable place and just not trying to control it, kind of deal. Met a guy who's 6 years older online. Had a phone chat, told him I wasn't feeling it. He understood, then pops up 2 months later by adding me on social media. Oh, okay. So this guy kind of got impatient, I guess. So he got rejected. I was thinking initially it was the other way around, because that's usually what you'll find, and it works like clockwork. As far as reattracting someone, just giving them space doesn't always work if their attraction just wasn't high enough. But if it was, and maybe you two of you had some kind of emotional connection, or you dated, or whatever it was, and the attraction was there, and then the two of you basically fall off, then it has a retraction. If there's not that initial attraction, it won't work. In this case, he got rejected. So really what he's doing, he's being impatient. He's like, I can't believe she just left me, and she's totally fine. She's doing her life and she hasn't reached out to me. And so he got fearful, and now he's reaching out again, trying again. Sometimes you can get away with like two tries max, as far as pursuing and trying to get this person on a date. But otherwise, it's like afterwards, you have to basically have her come to you. And so where this guy kind of went wrong, if that was the case in that situation that I'm talking about, is like, he just never reaches out again. And it's like, it has to be her who reaches out, because it's just like, in order to realign the attraction, in a healthy way, it's like she has to be the one who pursues him at that point, because he's already been rejected over and over again. If he keeps basically chasing, it destroys a dynamic. About 2 months ago, I met a guy online. Yeah. So I was going to ghost this guy. Bad, I know, but figured I didn't really owe him anything and couldn't fathom letting him down. He messaged me for 2 days after asking me my day, and I ghosted. Yeah, it's like this guy's chasing. It doesn't work. On the third day, when we had a call scheduled prior to me calling randomly a few days prior, he told me he had the day off, and I figured just call because easier texting. Okay, jumbled words here. Even though we had a call scheduled for that Friday. It's like, well, oftentimes women who aren't interested, they'll basically drag things along because they don't want to hurt the guy's feelings. That seems to be the case here, but still, I mean, it's kind of, it's not a very, sometimes it can be kind of cruel, from a woman's perspective. It's like sometimes when we can't like say what we feel, sometimes it just leads the person on, and it can basically hurt the person much more badly. Anyway, I told him that I didn't really think we had a connection and the timing was off. It's COVID after all, etc. Respectfully, he understood and wrote me back a nice message communicating that it's hard to make an impression over the phone, but understands. Yeah, guy's inexperienced. He's agreeing to be in friend zone. It's like you state what you want. If you don't get it, you walk away. I wanted to keep the door open because I like making new friends. Don't do it, dude. In general, and extended the invite that if things open up in the summer, I would be okay to get together with his friends and mine. Don't do group dates. This is a horrible situation if you agreed to this. He agreed, but told me that if I ended up meeting him in person, I would end up kicking myself, which I thought was funny. Okay, good response. It's cocky. It's cocky. It's confident. I screened his last message, which was a question asking if I thought he partied too much. Do you think you partied too much? It's like, dude, are you just trying to get a response? That's kind of what you're after right now. You don't know what to do, so you're just kind of making desperate attempts. It's poor game, dude. I mean, it's just like, it's not going to get you success at a high rate trying to do this approach. And if that was the reason why I wasn't really giving him it a shot, it's like, oh, dude. Now he's trying to logic this. He's like, well, is it because of this? It's like, I'll change. Nah, man. Negotiation, getting a woman to be attracted to you can't just logic and say, well, on paper, it's like, well, if you look at these facts and you look at this here, and this is why you should like me, and have this sales pitch on, you really should like me. It's like feelings don't work that way. And so you have to understand how to act in order to really raise another person's feelings. And that really comes from that strength of negotiation, not this approach that this guy's doing. Fast forward to this week, I wake up and he adds me on LinkedIn and Instagram. Total chasing, dude. It's like, you're not going to get her this way. Within the early hours of the morning. Mind you, he works odd shifts. I was surprised but accepted it because I do genuinely believe that he is a nice guy and he's cute. Yeah, that's still not going to get you a date. He starts liking my pics from 2016. Now he's stalking her profile. It's creepy. It's weird. When you get in this friendzone vibe and you agree to be in this friendzone vibe, it's like then you start making up signs that she likes you. And so she's like, oh, that's so sweet. That's so nice. And you're interpreting that as that must be a sign. It's like, I'm raising her attraction by doing this action. And really she's like secretly meaning, without just telling you bluntly, that I'm not attracted to you. I don't know why you keep chasing me. I've told you I'm not interested. And it's kind of freaking me out. And that's what she means by, oh, you're so nice. You're so sweet. You're so funny, in a large majority of the cases. And so he's taking this as, oh, I need to take more action. It's like, oh, if I just find something that she likes that was from 5 years ago, if I like all her pictures from then she'll know she likes that I like her, and then it'll raise her attraction. And if I just find out what she's interested in, and then I talk about those things and go through that process and just like bring up those things and ask her questions if she parties or not, that will do it. It's like, I've got it. I've got it now. And so I'll just keep taking this action. And what he finds is he's just being weird, creepy, being almost stalkerish. She's freaked out by him. Now she's going to be totally distant. Maybe now she's telling her friends, like, this guy's kind of weird. Now she's maybe like kind of trying to avoid him, trying to block him on social media. It's like, and he's not even realizing what he's doing. And so it's like, you can't get caught up in these traps if you're a guy trying to do this. And this is such a common thing people do. Guys, in this case, do. Because it's just like they don't understand how to really act in a relationship, and just over and over and over again they fail, and then they basically get upset with themselves because they're failing, and they act creepy, and they don't want to act creepy, and that's not their intention at all. But it's just like that's their strategy, that's their method of approach in order to attract somebody, and it just does not work. Yeah, starts liking my pics from 2016. Literally, I'm like, this is the confidence we need. 5 a.m. ads and likes on pics from years back. Haha. Not sure if she's joking there. I sent him a funny LinkedIn message anyway, and I'm just wondering from a guy's perspective or anyone who has experienced this, what does this mean, LOL? Well, he's fearful, he doesn't really know what to do, and so he thinks by taking action that he will raise your attraction, and it's just an illusion of action because it does not work. Do you think he's still interested, or he's just being a guy and wants to lurk or question mark. It's been on my mind. Also, he told me that he couldn't really find my social media when we first spoke on the phone, so I guess he did some searching. Yeah. I mean, his approach, it's the nice guy typical approach. Um, and you've probably seen it over and over again, this kind of behavior. But how many times have you actually gone on a date with a guy that does this? And if so, if you have gone on a date and kind of gave in, maybe you really wanted a date, did it work out? Chances are probably not, because he applied those basically principles to now the dating stage, and now he's acting needy, acting basically too much action, pleaser-ish. Let's check out the comments here, because she didn't really give her insights on her feelings. She kind of just gave insights on, why is this guy doing this? Oh, and look at this. I mean, comments here. This person, like, freaky. I would not have accepted. My experience with people like that is they'll constantly message you on every single platform you connected with them on, regardless of interest. Parentheses. This went on for months with one person because I was too afraid to be the mean one. Well, look at that. I mean, that is exactly what's going on. So it's like, if you take this approach that this guy's taken, it's like you are going to freak her out. And it's just like, even though you don't intend this, you can't do it, because it's like it will cause so many problems, and you won't get what you want, and then you'll feel like you're it's not going to work.